It's got these little stripes. Smooth muscle is involuntary. You cannot choose to move it. Your intestines are a great example of smooth muscle. You don't choose to move your smooth muscle. It's not like I can say, okay, on the count of 3, everybody move their duodenum to the left. Doesn't work that way. And it is not stripy. The reason for that is the way that the proteins that cause the muscle contraction to happen are arranged differently in the smooth muscle than the skeletal muscle. In the skeletal muscle, they're kind of lined up like this, and that's what gives us our stripes. In our smooth muscle, they're a little bit more like a lattice work, because in our skeletal muscle, they're all lined up and they ratchet over each other, causing the muscle to contract towards the middle. In our smooth muscle, it's a little bit more of a circular motion. So we have this like squeezing toothpaste out of a toothpaste tube. We can also refer to the smooth muscle as visceral muscle. And viscera, we remember from our terms in anatomy, means organ. The final type of muscle is our cardiac, and it's a specialized muscle. It's only found in the heart, and it's kind of a combination of the two. It is involuntary. You cannot choose to move your heart. I don't care what your yoga instructor told you. I don't care what the people who climb the mountain and they're like, oh, I can slow down my heart. No, you cannot. You cannot consciously control your heart. You can elicit hormones that affect the heart, like epinephrine, but you cannot control your heart. It is involuntary. But it also has stripes because of the way that the proteins are lined up. All right, talked about all that. So what causes a muscle to contract? The thing is about muscles, that's all they do. Muscles contract and then they stop contracting. And that's why a lot of times our muscles have an opposite muscle group. So if I have one muscle that does this action, I have to have an opposite muscle to do the opposite action. They only contract. And what causes this to happen is a nerve. Now we have 2 different types of nerves. We have motor nerves, which is a message from my brain to my body to perform an action. And I have messages coming from my body to my brain to interpret data. So our motor nerve here, I have my brain and it sent a message to this particular group of muscle fibers. And where it has a connection, this is known as a neuro, right? Nerve, motor unit. A message coming from a nerve to the muscle to provide movement. So with this, and I know you're looking at my teacher's notes where it says really talk about this, they struggle with this concept. All right, so and this is where, oh my gosh, my mind goes blown about how the complexity of the stuff that has to happen for me to do this. It doesn't seem like much, bam, oops, there, I did that. I'm doing this. I do interpretive dance. My brain has a very specific section that controls this one arm. And just like flicking the first domino, having a domino effect, it sends a message from nerve to nerve to nerve through a pathway. We talked about this at the beginning of A&P, forming pathways. That I am being literal about. We have to form a pathway. That's why when my brain says, do this, I don't have the nerves that talk to do this. It's a specific pathway. Once I get to the nerve that is connected to this specific group of muscle fibers, what it happens is I'm going to send a little signaler. I'm going to send a chemical into this muscle fiber that tells it to contract. When I no longer want the muscle to contract, the little signal goes away and the muscle relaxes. When the muscle contracts, it gets shorter and wider. All you got to do is look at your gun. I'm not going to break my guns out because I don't want to frighten anybody. But if you look at the length of your bicep, it attaches here at your shoulder and attaches way down here on your forearm. So that's a pretty long muscle. Oh, I thought that was a, Krista, I saw your cat's tail and I thought it was a thing that I can't look at and I nearly had a heart attack. Oh my God. Talk about neuromuscular reaction into my heart. Woo.
What do you mean a thing you can't look at?
I have and I saw you guys chatting about it when I was out with my internet. I have a debilitating, I'm going to look right into the camera, a debilitating phobia of a particular type of reptile. And it's the reptile that does not have any legs. I am so phobic. Don't say the word. Don't say the S word. I'm so phobic, I have trouble. I will stutter on the word and it will send me into a panic attack. So I am debilitatingly phobic of that particular type of reptile. And I saw you guys when I came back into the room that you were chatting. Somebody has them. I don't want to see them. Please do not. Please do not. No. Why are you typing that? Annette, what did I just say? What did I just say? That you're going to send me into a panic attack. I'm not kidding. It's not funny. I'm seriously not kidding. And so when I saw the cat's tail, I thought she had one and it nearly sent me into a panic attack. So that's what I'm talking about. Anyway, let's go back. Let's go forward. Just gotta breathe for a minute. Breathe for a minute.
He says he's sorry. He didn't mean to.
Breathe for a second. All right. So these, sorry, my heart is just pounding. Holy smokes, Krissa, you don't know what that did to me. Oh my gosh. All right. So if they have legs, I'm fine. I'm great. I love chameleons, little geckos. I have little animals that hang out with me in my back porch. They dance with me and they do the big pink under their chin. They're fabulous. I have one giant one that I call him Gordon. I know he's not a gecko, but I call him Gordon Gecko. But yeah, the ones that have no legs, please, please, this is very serious. I am not joking. I am not joking. All right, so let's go back to our motor nerves because my nerves are firing on all cylinders right now. So this nerve motor unit is just simply talking about where the nerve joins the muscle to perform an action. All right, so let's talk about muscles and how they move. We have muscles that are prime movers, and these are muscles that actively produce some sort of movement. This is the main muscle that produces a movement. But we have some helper muscles. We have a muscle called an antagonist, and just like when you learned in English class, an antagonist kind of works against our hero. The antagonist is going to be opposing. So this is the star of the movie. The prime mover is the hero. The antagonist is going to move against. It is going to move in an opposite action. These are going to help to, these are designed to relax as the mover contracts. And then as these contract, the mover will relax. We're moving opposite. We're antagonizing a movement. Synergist, however, means to work together. Synergy means to work together. And so these synergists are going to work with my hero, with my prime movie star, And these are going to be little helper muscles that will help to stabilize a movement, help to strengthen a movement. So this is just terminology stating, you know, who are we talking about? Are we talking about the main guy, the main mover? Are we talking about a muscle that's going to help to undo a movement? Or are we talking about a muscle that's going to help to strengthen or stabilize a movement? All right, so we have some different types of movement. We're going to start moving ourselves right now. We're going to start moving ourselves right now. All right, so we talked a little bit about some of these movements when we were discussing joints with the skeletal system. All right, so if we're going to take our arm, because it's the easiest thing to see on camera, and I'm going to bend it at that joint. I am decreasing the angle between my bones. When I bend a joint, this is known as to flex. I am flexing my muscle. When I straighten a joint, I am extending my muscle. Flex, extend. When I abduct, remember, look at the letter B and the direction of the letter B in relation to the A. That tells you, is it away? Is it towards? Ab, away. So I'm going to abduct my arms right now. What? And then adduct, bam, flex, extend, abduct, adduct. Turning a body part on its axis is going to be a rotation. So you can do this with your foot. You can do this. And then finally, if you turn a body part in a circular motion like this is going to be circumduction. This is all review, guys. We talked about all 4 of these or 5 of these movements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 of these movements when we were doing the skeletal system. All right, so now we are not going to be going in like in anatomy and identifying every muscle. Okay, honestly, we could do this whole anatomy course for like 16 weeks and do nothing but muscles. There are so many muscles. We're just simply going to pick out some big ones that are great examples of the terminology that we need to learn in here. So let's talk about our facial muscles. We have, this is kind of a fun word to say, the orbicularis. Orbicularis. And what the word orbicularis means is to surround in a circle. So it's a circular muscle, not a sphincter that opens and closes like this. This is a muscle that is surrounding a structure. And so here I have a muscle called the orbicularis oculi. This is the orbicularis, meaning around, surrounding muscle. Oculi, meaning my eye. I have another one here. Lets me do the duck lips. This is my orbicularis labii. Orbicularis surrounding, labii, my lips. The orbicularis oculi, surrounding my eye, is the one that moves your eyes. Look, I'm moving them right now. Not your forehead, although honestly, your orbicularis oculi and your forehead kind of attach. You can't really move your eyes without also moving your forehead. But those are the muscles controlling your eyelids. Masseter muscles. If you touch your cheeks, your buccals right here, touch your cheeks on your jaw, and then clench your jaw. See, I'm pushing my fingers out. Those are your masseter muscles. These are the ones that you use to chew. That's why a term for chewing is to masticate, because you're using these masseter muscles. Right there. These help to open and close the mandible. So here's our masseter muscle here. And this round muscle surrounding the eye right here is that orbicularis that we were just talking about. All right, so moving from our face down to our back, we have groups of muscles, as we just talked about, that work together. Each of these groups is in their own little connective tissue, their own little fascia that separates them from each other. And so one of the groups are called the serratus. Now, serratus is a term for sawtooth. And actually, you know what I want to do? I want to go through these adjectives very quickly. I know we have about, oh, we're good. No, I want midterm. All right, so in your medical terminology book, in the muscles, now I'm not sure what page it is, but there is a little gray box of adjectives. And that little gray box goes over all of the descriptive words that we are using right now. And I think it's important that we do these adjectives. All right, so, and you can find it, I honestly, I don't know, if somebody finds the page, go ahead, type it in the chat. Page, thank you, Zoe. Page 109, you are awesome. So I think it's important, since this is medical terminology, and the muscles that we're talking about are just reinforcing these adjectives, maybe we should go over the adjectives super quick. All right, so we have some descriptive terms for muscles and muscle groups. This particular PowerPoint that I'm sharing with you right now is on my website under the medical terminology. All right, so if you're looking at the list in your textbook, this is the first adjective. Adjective, remember from English, is just a word used to describe. So this first one is called azygous. That's how we say this word, is azygous. Azygous means we have a muscle that doesn't have a pair. It's a single muscle. I've used socks because, as you all know, I never wear matching socks. I honest to God at this point don't even know if I own a pair of matching socks, because I tend to lose one like everyone else on the planet. And so I don't even know. I don't even know if I have a full pair of socks. Azygous means we're not paired. It's a muscle that just contracts on its own. It doesn't have a pair. Bitriquadri, well, this is kind of a no-duh. We know bi means 2, tri means 3, 4 means quadri. These pictures have nothing to do with muscles. I get that. These are to help you remember, what do these adjectives mean? So tell me a muscle that you do know, we just talked about it, that uses the adjective bi.
Bicep.
Thank you. Bicep. Sep means heads or attachment points. Your bicep has 2. Tell me a muscle that uses the here the adjective tri.
Tricep.
Nice. See, there you go. All right, here's the hard one. Tell me one that has quadri. You guys are on a roll.
Quadricep.
Thank you. Yeah, quadricep. So you have your bicep, your tricep, quadricep is in your leg. And so these are just referring to the attachment points. So there's a bi, tri, quadri. Some of these are a little no-brainer, right? You don't really have to think of them all that hard. Externus. Externus means outside, external. Now, the reason why all of these words, or most of these words, end in like us, easygus, externus, is they're derived from Latin. And Latin used this as the ending of their words. So right here, we're going to talk about this in a little bit. Obturator, we know, is the hole in the pelvis. Externus. These muscles can be named not only for what the adjective is, but they could also be named for their location. How many heads do they have? What kind of action do they provide? In this case, it's named because of its location and its adjective, externus. Gracilis means slender. Here we have a gracilis muscle in the upper leg. And I remember this because it sounds like graceful. And I remember that a ballerina is very, very, oh, it's frozen on azagus. All right, is it moving for you now?
No,
Nope.
it's still on that one.
It is still on that one. All right. All right, how about now? All right, so there's our bi, tri, quadri. These pictures have nothing to do with muscles. It's just there's 2, here's 3, and there's 4. Some of the most terrible superhero movies ever made on the planet, except for Green Lantern. Externus means external. Here's gracilis. So this is a graceful muscle in the upper part of your leg. And I remember gracilis because it's like graceful. Ballerinas are graceful. Ballerinas are also slender. So that's how I remember gracilis means slender. Latissimus. Some of you that go to the gym, you're like, yeah, I'm totally going to work on my lats today. I don't go to the gym. I don't work on my lats. So, but latissimus means wide. So right here in red, this is a wide muscle on the back. Tell me a word for back. Is it stuck again?
Dorsal.
Are you seeing the latissimus? Okay, yeah, so dorsal. So this muscle is the latissimus, a wide dorsi on the back. Latissimus dorsi. Some of these really are no brainers, right? Longissimus, no, I did not make up this word. I did not make up this word. Longissimus or longus, it means long. Here I have a super long muscle. It attaches from the lower part of the occipital lobe all the way down nearly to your pelvis. Medius means middle or intermediate. So here I have, you got a bunch of muscles in your butt. In fact, you got 3, creepy rule of 3. I got my gluteus minimus, my gluteus medius, and my gluteus maximus, which is the one you all know of. Medius just means intermediate. So I got Papa Bear, Mama Bear, Baby Bear. Mama Bear is the middle one. She's the medius. There's a great picture for the orbicularis, surrounding. This is the orbicularis oculi. We can also have one here, labii. So it's just a round surrounding muscle. All right, time flies when we are having fun. My goodness. All right, so here's the, let me stop this.